we can make our menus more interesting to the user by adding animations to them. And this is a nice way to take a look at the mechanism system that we can use to animate other game objects, not just our players or our enemies. So here in the animations folder, I've created main menu animations. And for example, we can take our start game button and just memorize where the position is. So it's -80 by, well, for the position 57. So I'm just going to, well, alter this X position, so -80, and I can move it here, for example, and I can click on to create the animation and save it here, and I can name this slide in, and I can move it here on the frame 60 and set its position at -80. So now when we run the game, this is what we are going to see. So if I run the game, this is what we see. But what we need to do is we need to select our start game button, and in the animator panel for its slide in animation, we need to double click on it and uncheck this loop time. Because if we have the loop time checked, this is what we see. So our animation is going to be played each time and it will not stop. If we uncheck this loop time here and we rerun the game, the animation is going to be played only once. And we have here our buttons. So we can do this for each of our buttons. So I can take the high score button and just copy its X position and create the animation. And here I'm also going to name it slide in high score. So high score, just to, well, make a difference between them. And what I did here is we need to take our button and first position them here. And now we can record. In order to record, we need to press this red button near this play button under this project. So press play here, go on frame 60 and set its position at -37. Also go here for the animator, double click it and uncheck loop time. And we are going to do the same thing for all of our buttons. So let's say here I take the options button and I reposition it here. And now I create an animation for it. This is going to be slide in options. So options, go on frame 60 and set the position back at -13. Go in the animator panel and double click it here. Double click the animation, uncheck the loop time. And lastly, for our quit button, but we are also going to animate our music button. So this is before lastly. And create here, this is going to be slide in quit. And well, I forgot again to first move it outside here. And also our options button. So let me check here the options button. I need to position it here. And all of these, I'm going to position them here. So this is going to be their start position. So this is the start position for them. So -633. So if I select it here, so I think this will apply. And this one was at negative, I forgot what was the position. So I forgot the position. So let me just record it here and let's go on frame 60. I'm going to position it here, for example, 33, let's say. And lastly, our music button. And also I forgot that we need to select the quit button, go in the animator, uncheck the loop time. And for the music button, I'm going to take it here and create animation. It will be slide in music. So slide in music and go on frame 60 and set the position here. So let me just rerun the game to see what we have here. But we need to uncheck for our music. So uncheck the loop time. And again, this is what we have for the animation. Of course, we can make this a lot better. I'm just showing you how can you do it. So you don't need to use this way. And we also see that our buttons are not ordered or rearranged how we want them to. So as I said, we can do this a lot better, but this is just one of the ways that we can do it. Another way that we can do it, and for that I'm going to delete all of these animations so we can animate each individual part of our button. So every button, every single one of button, we can animate it, But let me delete all of these animations, and I'm going to select all of my game objects and remove the animator from them. So remove the animator because we don't need it, and now we need to reposition these buttons again. So this one is going to be here, this one is going to be here, this one here, and quit button will be here, and lastly the music button will be here. What we can do is we can create a panel. So we can go under UI and create a panel. And well, let me select the panel, and here for the color, click on the color, and it will open this pop-up window for the color. Set the alpha at 0 so that it will not be visible here in the screen. And we can add all of these game objects, these buttons, to be a child, to be children of our panel. So now if I uncheck the panel, also our buttons are going to uncheck. The same way with the animation, I can move the panel here and I can create the animation. So I can go here and say slide in and go on frame 60 and set at 0, position for our panel. And let me just uncheck the loop time. And now if I rerun the game, this is what we see. Sliding our animation. So this is also a cool trick. How can we use it to animate all of our buttons in a single, well, animation? This is going to be our button panel. So this is one of the ways. Also, how can we use a simple panel in order to animate instead of animating each individual button as we did previously? We can simply take this panel and we can animate the panel. So this was about animating or using the mechanism system in order to animate our buttons. You can animate what you want. So you can animate the Z position of the button. You can animate the rotation of the button. So we can take the rotation and animate the rotation. So anything that you want to animate, you can animate, and that way create some nice menus, especially if you do your own graphics and you create some beautiful menus. You can create those pop-up animations which people like to see, and that will make your game more beautiful to them, and they will be more addicted to it because people like to see those small things that are like, ooh, this is nice. So this is how can you actually use the mechanism system and the animator panel in order to animate, well, our UI elements. Next, we are going to wrap up our menus by creating our options menu and creating our high score menu. Then we are going to see how can we actually navigate between them and create our scripts for our menu controllers.